All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to dig into a story that you might think you know, how we find and remember the final resting places of America's veterans. But what you might not know is that it involves a hidden army of volunteers, a mission that's over a century and a half old, and a really surprising truth about technology.
So you've probably seen the headlines, right? Volunteers with their smartphones out there mapping old cemeteries, supposedly filling in all the gaps where the government has failed. It's a great story, a modern digital rescue mission. But let me ask you, is that really the whole picture? Not even close.
On the one hand, you've got this myth, this idea that a brand new tech movement just popped up to save the day. But the reality? Oh man, the reality is so much cooler. This isn't some new sprint to the finish line. It's the final leg of an epic 150-year-long relay race, and that baton has been passed from generation to generation.
Okay, let's get into it. To really understand what this hidden army is doing today, we've got to jump in the time machine and go way, way back, all the way to the end of the American Civil War. This is where the very first recruits got their start.
It all kicks off with the Grand Army of the Republic, the GAR, a group founded by Union veterans themselves. Now, their famous General Order Number 11 didn't just give us Memorial Day. It actually created a massive logistical problem. I mean, think about it. If you're going to decorate a grave, you first have to find the grave, right? This simple need sparked the very first systematic effort to locate and record their fallen comrades. And that mission, it's been running uninterrupted ever since, handed off to their successor group, the Sons of Union Veterans.
And this is the wild part. Long before any computers, each local GAR post was basically a data hub. We're talking totally analog databases. You had burial ledgers with cemetery plot numbers, detailed descriptive books tracking a soldier's life, and even financial records that could lead you to a grave. This, right here, was the original hidden army, building the foundational data set with nothing more than ink and paper. So, at the same time the GAR is busy documenting the Civil War dead, a whole new battalion of this hidden army starts to form. And these folks, well, they were looking even further back in time, trying to preserve the fading memory of the American Revolution.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? For groups like the Sons and Daughters of the American Revolution, which got started back in the 1890s, history wasn't just some dusty old story in a book. No way. It was a physical place, a grave site, that they knew had to be found, marked, and saved before it just vanished.
And they tackled this from all sides. You had the Sons of the American Revolution, the SAR, who were the boots on the ground, creating that classic bronze Minuteman marker you can still find in cemeteries today. Then you had the Daughters of the American Revolution, the DAR, who became master archivists, building these absolutely massive catalogs. And they even got the kids involved. The Children of the American Revolution, the CAR, were trained to carry on the work, ensuring the high standards would continue. This was the second wave of the hidden army, and they literally wrote the rulebook for this stuff.
Now, get a load of this number, 177,000. That's from just one collection of index cards from a DAR project that started way back in the 1940s. And here's the key takeaway. This data was never lost. It was just analog, sitting there on paper, patiently waiting for the next runners in the relay to come along with some new tech.
Okay, so now let's fast forward to the modern era, because this is where the race suddenly goes into hyperdrive. The newest recruits to this hidden army, well, they showed up with what are basically supercomputers in their pockets.
So you get platforms like Grave and BillionGraves. Now, they didn't invent the mission. That was already over 100 years old, but wow, did they ever change the game. Find a Grave let anyone, anywhere, become a surveyor with their camera. It virtualized the whole process. And then BillionGraves took it one giant step further, tying every single photo to a precise GPS coordinate. They weren't just digitizing the stone, they were digitizing its exact location on planet Earth.
And if you want to see that acceleration in action, just look at this chart. It's absolutely nuts. BillionGraves skyrockets from 7 million to 16 million records in just 2 years. And then, get this, in 2021, a single partnership brings in over 4.5 million photos. These new tools basically allowed the hidden army to mobilize and go viral on a scale no one could have imagined.
So, if we've got this massive hidden army that's been working hard for 150 years, why does everyone keep talking about this big gap in the official government databases? Well, it turns out we've kind of been looking at the problem all wrong.
Okay, this is probably the single most important point to understand. The VA's big database, it was never, ever designed to be a complete historical record of every single veteran who ever lived and died. It's a logistics tool. Its job is to manage national cemeteries and the headstones the government provides, and for private cemeteries, its digital records only go back to 1997. So it's not a failure, it's a structural gap that's there by design.
So instead of thinking about some big, empty gap, a much better way to picture it is as a giant data mosaic. The complete picture isn't missing, it's just that the little tiles that make up the picture are scattered across a bunch of different places. The VA has a big pile of tiles, the old GAR ledgers have another, the DAR archives hold a ton. You get the idea.
And this slide right here, this is the real aha moment where it all clicks into place. Just look at those top two rows. A veteran buried in a private cemetery with a private headstone, completely invisible to the main VA database. Same thing for a government-issued marker from before 1997. But where are they visible? You guessed it. In the databases of the Hidden Army, the lineage societies, and the modern apps. They are the ones holding all the missing tiles to complete the mosaic.
And this is the truly beautiful part, how it all works together today. You've got this perfect symbiosis between the new recruits and the old guard. An app user discovers the physical stone with their phone's GPS. Then a lineage society like the SAR dives into its deep archives to verify the veteran's service. And finally, another volunteer connects the dots, linking that digital photo to the historical paper trail. And just like that, another piece of the mosaic clicks perfectly into place.
I mean, when you step back and look at it, it's pretty incredible. From handwritten ledgers to GPS satellites, this 150-year relay race to remember our veterans just keeps evolving. The mission of the Hidden Army has never, ever changed, but their tools just keep getting better. And it really makes you wonder, right? What's the next leg of this race going to look like? And who's going to be there to grab that baton and run with it?